Okay, guys, welcome back to the World Championship Series Premier League here in Europe, as we now have on the line with us our round of 16 advancer honorer here in Group F. It is Mr. TLO. How are you doing, man?
Hello. Well, I'm doing fantastically.
Congratulations!
Thank you, Sean.
I bet it's going to be a party today or tonight in Berlin. I know you rascal animal, you party animal.
Yeah, especially me, right?
All right, well, our first question, got to ask you, Dario, if you could describe your play style in one word, what would it be?
Clearly, there's only one candidate.
Yeah?
Creative.
Oh, you're such a creative player, Dario. I loved your Nidus network. I'm such a big fan.
I know.
Oh, boy. All right, so serious questions. Coming into Group F today, what was your initial thoughts about this group? Because currently you seem to be playing rather well on your stream. You're currently ranked 1 in Grandmaster. You know, what were you thinking coming into today's group?
I was very confident, to be honest. I was practicing with Mana and games were going well, and CBP is still my best ladder matchup as well. And, you know, I knew Genius is playing from Korea, so I kind of expected him to cheese 3 times in a row, which, well, in the last game he didn't, but he was definitely trying to outsmart me, so I just made sure to scout well. And, yeah, I was just very confident.
How easy does it make it to approach a player like Genius knowing that he's most likely to play this style? Does it make it a lot easier than playing against another Protoss player from Europe, for example?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You should always keep that in mind when you're playing playing from Korea. Not only does he play with like 300 to 400 milliseconds lag, but it's also pretty late in Korea. Right now it's 3 a.m., I think. So I knew that he's not going to be able to play at his highest level. Even very high-level Korean Protoss. Missing force fields is so easy with that kind of lag, so you definitely have a lot of leeway, and you just can invest a little bit of extra minerals and gas and time to scout more and make sure you don't die to something that no matter how bad your opponent's micro is going to be, you're just going to die because he has too much.
I want to take a step back from the Genius series and go back to the Grubby series, where in Game 1 on Altrazine Stronghold, I would say that Grubby got a pretty favorable engagement off you in the first big engagement. So can you run us through what was going through your mind from that point on up to the second big engagement, for example?
Yeah, I was actually a little bit surprised that the first big engagement went so badly. I thought I'm going to be able to finish him there, but I miscontrolled a little bit. I didn't really keep my units beneath my Brood Lords, because he had a lot of Immortals, right? So the 2 Ultras weren't going to do that much, but if I would just have kept everything underneath my Ultras, underneath my Brood Lords, so you can't blink under, I would have been fine, but then he made it pretty easy for me by doing that counterattack. If he just stays at home, I think it's going to be a pretty difficult game for me, because he had 4 bases up. I lost like 3,000 gas in army supply, but then he just had a Stalker Immortal army, which is obviously not very good against Zerglings.
And then what was going through your mind in the third big fight in that game, Dario?
You mean?
Well, the one where you just went over and won the game. What were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking that I think I went back home to my natural and morphed in Overseers, which I started doing much more, because that's one thing where you start thinking, okay, how do I lose now? DTs.
So after beating Grubby, were you certain that you could beat Genius and go through first place? Was that the kind of the area where you're like, all right, cool, this group seems on lockdown now?
Yeah, I think that was a best case scenario for me, to be honest. I mean, I lost the first map, but that was really stupid by me. If I see that move out, which I should have had, and I was actually kind of making sure that I see it with links, but then I slipped up in between and just make a few roaches, I'm going to be able to hold it. But yeah, just knowing that Genius plays from Korea, that was, you know, big help for me.
All right. Any last questions?
Have you set yourself any goals for this season, this year overall?
I definitely want to make it into a final of a WCS this year. So not gonna try to aim low. I made it to a semi-finals for the first time at a major event at IEM now. So the next step is obviously finals.
Are you planning? Do you look at the system now, having played in it last year, and saying, all right, well, I'm actually started off really well with that semi-final. Do you start to look at top 16 for the end of the year? Is that already a thought in your mind?
Oh yeah, I think that's kind of what everybody who has a chance to get there is aiming for. The nice thing, if you set yourself top 16 WCS, it's not a singular goal where you go to a tournament and you lose and then you're disappointed for a long time, because there are so many opportunities to gain points that I think the top 16 is a very healthy goal to set, because it's a long-term goal rather than just a short-time single event kind of goal.
That's actually an interesting thought, because I remember listening to some players last year and saying that it actually put a lot of pressure on them in terms of they turn up to a tournament, they don't do well, and they don't get points, and then they can't just shrug it off. They have to be mindful of the point system.
Did you have any pressure when you was eliminated in the open bracket? Did you feel or think anything like that, or were you just happy with the points that you grabbed already from Sao Paulo?
No, I'm just really happy with the points I got.
Okay.
I think I'm in a good stand, and there's really no point thinking about past events whether you could have done better or not. You just got to look forward and try to collect as many as possible.
All right. Well, that wraps it up really for the time we have here, Dario. Do you have any last shout-outs before we let you go?
Sure. I actually want to give a shout out to my Twitch moderators. I have a channel and they're always cheering and supporting me. So a big shout out to them, and also obviously to all our sponsors. Just recently, HyperX, supporting Team Liquid, and that kind of helped us acquire 2 more guys. So big shout outs to Bunny and Mana too, and the team atmosphere has really improved because of that. And also obviously Barracuda, Razer, Twitch, Need for Speed, and Shiny Things. So thanks, guys, for making all this possible.
Not looking at a shirt at all.
Yeah, he was like, wait a minute, my mic definitely didn't just move position, I promise. We see through you, Dario. All right, thanks for the call and congratulations.
Now you know I'm wearing a Team Liquid shirt.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, without webcam and without a camera.
Nicely done.
Passion. All right, thanks, Dario.
Yeah, have a good evening. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. All right.
All right, Dario is gone, and the next game is already loading.
Yeah. That was nice timing there by Mr. Dario, who advances on in first place. But now we need to find out who advances on in second place. But even before that, we need to find out who's actually going to compete for that second spot.
Yeah, against Genius. And now it's Grubby versus Cass. A lot of people rooting for Grubby, of course, to do well in today's group, but he is going up against a very solid opponent in Cass.
And once again, we open up on Altrazine Stronghold for our first map, as we have spawning up to the top right-hand corner, our red Protoss. It is Grubby. And down up to the top left-hand corner here as our blue Terran, we have Empire Cass.
And these players have played a lot over the years in StarCraft 2, and it's actually in favor of Cass 9 series to 8 when it comes to head-to-head. Very close overall, but recently it has gone more so in favor of Cass. In the last 5 games, it's 4-1 to Cass in games best of 3, best of 5, and so on. I think Cass was a player that in the bracket stage, or I think the group stage even, I'm not sure which stage it was, in Challenger in Season 3, beat Grubby twice in a row. 2-0 and then 2-1 or something. So that was not even that far away. That was in Season 3 of 2013. So definitely Cass has looked strong against Grubby. But on Altazim is the first map here. Anything possible between these two players. It is a big, nice macro map for both sides. Would not be at all shocked to see a command center first from Cass, and maybe a focus on a faster nexus from Grubby.
Just looking straight for that is Cass. Meanwhile, Grubby just going for the gateway opener to making sure he's a little bit more careful about his opponent's opener, not opening up as greedy as he possibly could do. But the big question is, from our previous group, will Cass move?
Will Cass move?
It's a big question.
I think he will.
I think he will too.
I think he could move on in this group as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely
Well, he
think
has
so.
Protoss to deal with now.
Yep. Just all he seems to be playing is a lot of Terran versus Protoss in WCS when he plays in the round of 32 and so on. But he's playing against 2 now, Grubby and potentially against Genius. But we do have Grubby here, who has gone for a kind of standard opening here, just the 1 gateway, the gas. And of course, we'll be looking most likely to take his expansion off the back of this.
Nicely walled off, but in the end, it's not really going to matter a whole lot here because there is no Reaper opening coming along. Trying to maybe hide some tech later on, but...
And he gets a good scout too. He scouts actually in the right position at the right time here against Command Center first, and we'll be able to go in to see exactly what's going on. For example, if he'd gone the other way to the bottom right, and by the time he got up here, there would already be Marines out. So you wouldn't have known what exactly Cass had done at all in this game. So that's a nice bit of comfort there for Grubby to kick this one off with.
Yep. But now, unfortunately for him, he does know how far he is behind in terms of the economical opening from him. So he's going to throw down his Nexus absolutely straight away. Can't do really much more than that unless you want to get very aggressive. But it's hard. It's hard to do against Terrans now that hunker themselves down when you're on one base.
Yeah, and Grubby has taken a second gas. There's definitely an option from here to look towards maybe bringing the SCV count down a little bit. If, for example, he was to go to quite a fast Stargate. So far, he hasn't even started Warp Gate research yet. And I'm not sure what this probe's doing. It would be a pylon too early if he was to build a pylon here.
Yeah.
I think. But he's got enough, and he actually, with skipping Warp Gate research, throws down a fast Stargate here inside the main base. So is going to go for a Stargate, is going to go for an Oracle, and is going to try and get a couple of SCVs down, because the difference between them isn't going to be that big. It's only going to be a couple of SCV difference to probes, and with an Oracle, can easily pick up a couple of kills. Well, hopefully easily be able to pick up a couple of kills to be able to equalize that.
This probe's just going to move away even further and actually throw down a pylon itself. Noticeably, this pylon is just in between the bases. I mean, Cass doesn't know where his opponent spawned right now, but that pylon at this point is more so for spotting drops later on, I would think.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it was. Because at that time, Grubby needed a pylon. Instead of throwing it in the main base, why not send it up here?
Yeah.
It's not going to get killed early. It can help scouting later on. And Grubby's already sent the probe down the bottom left now, where he can probably start to build pylons for later in the game that he can use for types of harassment, one can imagine.
Yep, and well, for now we have the Oracle in production, so he's going to send that straight on over, noticeably across the shortest distance, not going to the natural, but the natural of Cass already has a missile turret started. No one at the main, though, because the Marines are already situated there.
Yeah, Cass has got no idea where the Oracle, if was built at all, would come from, so his Marines are kind of not in the right position, but they should be in decent position to spot this. And we are going to see Grubby go for the same build that we saw from Bling against Happy just a few days ago in the WCS. He is going to go Oracle into 3 Nexus.
Yeah, and it's also very important to note that Grubby, during his WCS 2014 campaign, if you include Challenger, like qualifiers as well, he is currently 7-0 in series, but 5 of those series are against Terrans. So, albeit not the highest of caliber Terrans, one of them was Jakji though, in that mix, but still, very, very impressive results so far but against Terrans.
And with a lot of Chrono Boost in the Nexus, he's actually overtaken with killing 3 SCVs in this game. So he's actually overtaken in the economy lead here. And with the 3rd Nexus, it's going to go even further. With an addition of a Stalker at the front door, it's a nice setup for Grubby to actually deny any scouting SCVs. And is Cass going to scan? No, because he doesn't even know where Grubby has spawned at this point. No SCV scout, no nothing. He would purely look out with a scan to the top right, which is not worth it in long term. And Grubby has found himself in a beautiful position. The Oracle tells him where Cass is in the game. He saw the factory being added on, so he knows when the starport will be there. He knows how much free time that he has, and also sees a 3rd command center instead of a 4th and 6th barracks. So this is ideal for Grubby so far, and he's going to set himself up in a very beautiful position with Zealot Charge, I would imagine, come out, and even +1 attack starting by the time these units get over there. What more could you hope for?
Yeah, this is a very nice opening here from Grubby.
Even more SCVs.
Yeah, he somehow keeps finding them. He's got 8 already with this, so very, very well done. And in terms of that, it's 52 probes against 38 SCVs. That's really hard. Hard times here for Cass.
And it's actually Blink. We saw Blink use Zealot Charge, but Grubby's using Blink. So a bit of a difference between the 2 builds we've seen over the last couple of days. Unfortunately, loses a Stalker there, and may even lose the information that he's got this 3rd down. As the Marine is being sent across. You have to favor Grubby at this point. He knows exactly when his opponent's going to move out. I would be very surprised if he wasn't ready for that time, with Blink being, intensively chrono boosted into. But now Cass is going to be like, no way. No, come on, man. Don't have 3 Nexus. Don't have 3 Nexus. And now we'll probably just assume that that's 3 Nexus, even though we didn't see it. Mothership core units out there. And already starts his charge over.
Has to go. Has
Does
to try
Grubby
and
have enough
pressure.
units? Because right now it's 23 army supply to 44. He needs more units at this point. He doesn't have enough right now. Photon Overcharge will be helpful.
I mean, Blink isn't even that helpful at this point. Normally, Charge would be quite useful to try and close the gap and force his opponent away, buy him a little bit of time to open extra units, but Blink's he's gonna have to have great control against this.
And the Mothership Core's kind of out in the open. Obviously gives him a lot more sight range here.
Guardian Shield went up very prematurely. I actually think that was a misclick there for Hallucination, but he actually throws down a lot of force fields, catches some of these units off, will throw down for an overcharge. If they want to pursue, then they're going to have a bit of a hard time.
Yeah, there's a lot of units stuck at the back there for Cass.
Yeah. Those
and
force
now
fields
more and more Stalkers coming in.
Can blink away if he wants, but would leave those sentries vulnerable.
And with this early engineering bay, remember at this point, Cass is almost looking at 1-1, but that's a great blink from Grubby. 2 medivacs like that. Awesome blink.
Yeah, for like 1 or 2 Stalkers. Very, very nice trade indeed. Blinks forwards, catches a Marine, and moves straight on back there. But now, look at the perimeter defense we're seeing set up from Grubby in terms of not only the pylon, but also the Oracle, just to spot any medevac drops that would try and come along that left-hand side.
And he has blink, and he's got a lot of mobility here. But overall, it's set up beautifully. He was able to survive with the 3rd base that he took early, and now has quite a commanding economy lead between the both of them. So this is a good start here for Grubby. Not quite ahead in supply, as he is still down quite majorly in army supply here, but with the addition of +2 attack, Zealot charge, and also the Templar Archives coming into play, he's going to start to climb up in his army supply quite fast.
Yeah, this is looking all right for Grubby. He's set up nice and sturdy, as he does see these 2 medevacs up to the north with all the vision that he's providing himself.
He's going to pounce here.
I'm surprised Cass is still going, actually.
Well, there's a cannon. Does Cass turn back here?
He has to. He's going to draw. Oh, he's going to boost. Oh, that was a really bad choice, I think.
And a great blink from Grubby. So unfortunately for Cass there, does lose 1 medevac full of units, which, you know, we're talking about the supply difference between the both of them. Now they're actually equal with army supply. So that was a big win there for Grubby. And he's got a lot of gateways. He's got Zealot charge finishing up now too. Archon's been added immediately. And great scouting around the map here with probes and pylons.
I didn't want to be too harsh on Cass there, but after that had been spotted by the pylon, yes, he can now snipe that out, but it was a big loss, especially when your opponent's 3rd is much quicker than yours. So now Cass is going to have to sit around for quite a while. He can't realistically move out too strongly against anything his opponent has. He even sees this. It's Revelation. He can't drop, but he's going to try.
Well, this time Grubby's units aren't in position. He's got Zealots there, though, which are more than enough for now. But Grubby's moving out. He says, all right, dude, I see your army. That's a lot of units you got in the sky. How much do you have on the other side of the map? And Grubby's preparing an attack. And this could be game-ending. Cass is spread pretty thin. Doesn't have those units together right now. And we could see Grubby just walk through with this.
Yeah, a 96 army supply against 68 right now.
Well, Cass does return back with those 16 units, or 16 supply worth of units.
He needs everything he can get, man. He really does. That Zealot does spot those, but they were also spotted by Revelation anyway. He's just going to flood on in. That is a lot of Zealots. He needs to kite this actively and well. That 1 EMP or 2 EMPs that he has available to him are going to be so important. And throws down a few more force fields here to deny this from actually pushing on 4th. And does do a lot of damage to that 3rd base, but doesn't want to take the full engagement just yet.
Killed quite a few SCVs. Another good time warp on the right-hand side.
And if he actually moved past this time warp, that could spell catastrophe, as the Zealots now do charge into the fray, and all these force fields aren't working exactly with the Zealots in the end, but it doesn't really matter. He just has too much power to push on through.
Yeah, he's going to push right through this, and Cass is going to have to retreat to his main base, and look at the supply difference. Grubby's just warping in off 12 gateways, pushes his opponent back, and to win this game, you don't need to charge up the main base. You can, of course, but you just need to keep the Terran player away from taking his 3rd, and you can start to do whatever you want behind this, which is added on Storm, Robotics Bay. And this is a bad start for Cass in this series.
Well, this army's not going to let up at all. It might pull back for a while, knowing that there might be a few EMPs out to threaten it, but other than that, there's really not a whole lot of troubles right now for Grubby. He's sitting pretty. He's getting his 4th base, and he's even sending a Zealot down to spot. Is it going to spot that base? I think it might. No, it's going down to the very other corner, so he actually walks straight on past that.
Well, Cass is up against it now. He's building Ghosts to be able to deal with the mass Zealots and the Archon, but the Colossus would eventually just destroy him. He's only on 1 starport. He doesn't have a lot of money.
Yeah, even his income's waning against Grubby's, who's just going to fly on ahead, especially with the 2nd robo as well. Blinks forwards, catches one of these medevacs on the retreat out, but I mean, look at the minimap. It really does spell it all. Like, Grubby just has pylons everywhere. He could just warp in and reinforce whenever he wants, whilst he's getting his 4th up as well. So this is bad times for our Terran.
Yeah, I mean, Cass, like I said, is building up a nice army to deal with what Grubby has now, but it's the Colossus which I'm most scared about. With having double robotics facility too, they're going to climb really fast in this game, and with 1 starport, you just can't make enough Vikings. It's really that simple.
Well, nice EMP on one of those High Templars, as well as a lot of the Zealots and the Archon, as they do have to be pushed back. Those EMPs doing all right for him, but he can't even continue. Those Zealots are so strong.
Grubby just needs to make double Colossus at the same time. He's only building one right now, but with two, just keep on building. There's no way he can stop that. He's now going to focus on it more with the focus on the Thermal Lance upgrade, and I'm assuming more Colossus. Yeah, this is... Cass has got a long way to go, that's for sure. If he was able to start to predict, and actually, as I say that, there is one Viking being made, so if he can start to climb up the Viking count and actually start to rise that a little bit in this game, there is hope. Remember, he's got a hidden 4th base down the bottom left too, so...
But for now, that's going to have to be a hero Viking, man. That is certainly going to have to do a lot of work. Lands 1 EMP on those Zealots, and he's going to lose a Ghost for his troubles. But there's still quite a few Ghosts out that can try and deny this, but he forces off the lift again.
Yeah, Grubby's got to get rid of supply. He can't actually build any Colossus right now.
And now just trading. Grubby behind this, building up quite a bank. He does see that 1 Colossus as well with this Viking that's doing the business.
Still not mining from that 3rd, but Grubby doesn't know about the base to the bottom left, so it's not as bad as it seems for Cass.
Feedback into Archon. 2 or more High Templars now move in, but there are still a few MPs left to this army. Not a great storm, but does the job to push him back. Oh, nice snipes out there by Cass.
Yeah, Cass is doing really well considering the circumstances.
Really keeping himself back in this. But at the same time, he knows his opponent's army movement always, and he's building that great bank behind this. So, as you said before, Cass still has a long way to go. Still another revelation even.
Revolution.
I mean, it's keeping an eye on it. That's
one good storm could end this, but every EMP and every snipe has been great. But this is.
Yeah, the bio, as much as it's holding on valiantly against the Zealots, there's just nothing else to deal with. All the other aspects in this army, that 1 Colossus has free reign over this entire location, and he will actually push this away.
But it's the bank that Grubby has built over the last couple of minutes, which is going to be hard to fight against. Double Colossus being made now, and Cass does hold on. That was a good, strong hold from him, but now he has to go up against 14 gateways, double Colossus production, and then just a fast remax from Grubby at this point. So there'll be a lot of Chrono Boost spent in the Colossus, spent in the gateways, I would assume, if he has a lot left over, and then just build. This is a bit of breathing room for Cass for the time being, though, until that is ready.
Yeah, it was I mean, considering that it was very Zealot heavy, a very good hold as those Zealots just disintegrated as they entered the fray. So now it does give him a little bit of an opportunity, but again, if Grubby just powers out with the production, there we go. There's 2 more Colossi on the way. Another base is going to go down for Cass up to the north, and it's really this 4th base down to the bottom left that's been saving Cass so much.
Definitely felt, though, that this game could have had a Colossus switch a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Could have helped out, but we do see Medivacs 3, 2, 3, 3.
Lots.
Going down to the bottom, where they will try to hunt Grubby's 4th down. This is great to slow Grubby's economy down, but obviously kind of bad if we're to see another attack in the next couple of seconds, which we seem to be seeing.
Yeah, he drops the scan, he sees that, and now he has a bit of a hard choice.
Grubby isn't really ready until he has 4 Colossus, I would think, at this. He's only got 2, and it's not that strong of an army he has.
And do the Vikings, did they get any air upgrades? Because he's only going to have 7 out, and no, they do not have +1.
If Cass kills this 4th, and then is able to defend, which he isn't looking too bad with the Viking count, 7 and 7 ghosts.
He could do it.
He could actually find himself a victory, potentially.
There's quite a few storms in this army, though, so the EMPs need to land. He's got 10 ghosts, so it's a good number.
It's a great drop on this right side.
Yeah.
Really good drop. Straight for the pylon. This Nexus is gone. And now he just kind of has to figure out how to hold. A good start with the EMP.
Very nice. Actually, that doesn't have much energy left. There's 2 High Templars at the very back that he's keeping in reserve to try and deal the damage. As he now gets another EMP on one of those High Templars here. And also the Archons evaporate as well. Cass is actually making this work.
He hasn't really been hit by a single storm in this game. He actually hasn't been hit by a single storm.
He's done so well about EMPing it, and he gets more EMPs.
There's another High Templar there.
Does he have more EMPs left?
I don't know, but Grubby is fighting at home as well at the same time here against those units. And Cass with a beautiful move here. An absolutely beautiful move.
Look at all the pylons that are littered around here as Grubby looks to go for the execution on his opponent all game long, but he hasn't found it. He hasn't found the room to. Cass with great EMPs, gotta say, really, really superb EMPs. Has been able to shut down all storms completely.
All right, 3 Colossus though. There's a lot of Vikings still. He needs to get rid of the Vikings.
9. And there's not really that many Zealots there to tank, so I don't think Grubby can push on forward.
And he doesn't have that good of an income anymore with losing his 4th base, and Cass still having that hidden base is paid so much for this game down here.
All he has to do is drop these mules there once again, and he's going to be right as rain. He knows that his opponent doesn't have a 4th base up to this bottom right. This army for Cass is looking superb.
Yeah, Grubby's in a bit of trouble right now. He is in a bit of trouble. Cass has just shown some great survivability skills here. Absolutely great. Really, really solid. He was pushed back all the way to his main base for a long time. Grubby was containing him, stopping him from mining.
Oh, and now he finds the base down to the south. And now he knows where the lifeblood of Cass has been coming from for the past couple of minutes. As he has to drop a storm for a Marauder.
Yeah, but remember, one single storm can really change the game.
Yeah,
even though Grubby is equal in supply, one storm changes everything. But Grubby does anticipate the cloak coming in. He actually starts to get out double observers. Ooh, he's just got to be careful there. He can turn around and fight that army.
Yeah, this army could just turn stim and kill.
I think it is going to.
And yeah, he doesn't have any recall out. No, okay. No, he still doesn't have the recall out. The energy's not there. Oh, but he doesn't see those High Templars. They just spread out on the edge of that scan, just in case he's actually going to pursue. Is he actually going to walk into those? Ooh, has to be so careful.
He almost did.
Yeah. Good EMPs, though, once again. Good snipes. Not too bad feedbacks. We'll catch a few of those ghosts, but...
Still 4 High Templar loaded there, though.
Yeah.
3 loaded now.
The war of High Templars and Ghosts will continue. It's 6 Ghosts to 7 High Templars there. And the Zealot harassment down to this left is doing well, shutting down this base. This has been a great game.
It's been a very good game here.
And this is a nice little harassment technique by Cass to just drop a few Marauders on this high ground to shut this base down. He knows that that base down at the bottom right for a long time has not been there because, well, eventually it all got cleaned up, but it hasn't been there for a while.
Another dodge storm there. Cass really pulling out all the stops here. And he's not mining from a 4th though right now, which is kind of important. He's going to remove and reposition his command center from the one that was being harassed before. And Grubby does find himself on a new base once again. Army supply is still in favor of Cass.
A mixing of Immortals into this army now.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to add in Colossus and Colossus, but there was too many Vikings. 17. So he switched over to, I would assume, just Storms and Archons at this point. But he's got to avoid EMPs and he's got to avoid these ghosts.
I think 17's a bit overkill here. I don't think he needs that many, but I mean, as long as he kills the Colossi off, then all he has to deal with is the rest of the splash, which is those High Templars. So it does alleviate him a little bit of a worry once he goes into this engagement. Nice feedbacks there. Will catch a lot of those medevacs. And
that's pretty big for the fight. That's pretty big. There's only now 5, and they are quite weak. And stims and healings are important.
It's all about those High Templars leading the charge here. Ooh. Zealots down to the bottom left to catch that base once again, but there's Marauders already there to deal with it.
Grubby could find his opponent out of position here a little bit. I mean, he's going to have to come back up this way. There is the sensor tower, though. Well, and there's an observer that spots where Cass's army is, too. Yeah. But the sensor tower there would have been nice for a flank, but it's given Cass the knowledge. But he's going to pick off another medivac there. He just caught the end of that.
Yep.
It's only 4, and they are quite weak.
And the Zealots did all right down here. He's almost killed 100 workers during this game. Yeah. So that's a big, big difference in the worker count. He's at 18 workers right now.
Great pylons.
Yeah. That's the benefit of, for example, this pylon, how much work it's done itself that was placed down at the very beginning of the game. Likewise, the one on the left.
All right, Cass moving forward, though. What is he going to do? How is he going to take this fight? If there's High Templar hidden, which there is 1 on that top base, and another one there, there are a couple hidden around. Cass trying to find a way to mine properly from these bases.
I guess a storm hit those Vikings and we were unaware of it, as they were all quite low. So
well, he finds a pylon finally. Well, there is another one over the top of the rocks.
Yeah, and he will find that one as well. So he drops a scan and sees those, and even just snipes it out. Yeah. Cass is so on top of his High Templar control.
Yeah, he's always scanning. No, he stopped muling a long time ago in this game. Always scans. But Grubby is saying, you know, screw this base. I'm going to mine from the far right side, and I'm going to kill off your base here.
That was a good cloak, but at the same time, he lost quite a few of the ghosts for that. And this base will end up falling on this left-hand side. So it's base for base.
And they're so equal in supply.
Yeah.
But I just, even though I like Cass's army, it's just all a little weak. It's all half health. And Grubby's is good. It's got a lot of storm. It's got Colossus.
Exactly. He hasn't repaired the Vikings. He hasn't got the medevac count to really heal this up effectively. Another base is going to go put down to the
Vikings.
south.
The Vikings.
Oh, dear me.
The Vikings.
He needs to keep those alive. Like, I thought that 17 was overkill, and unless he's losing some now, but don't want to lose them all. Okay, so he's going to push that way.
Retreating storm there. Very patient game come out from Grubby, who I think started to realize this game was in his favor, then started to leave his favor, and then tightened up quite intensively over the last couple of minutes to really secure these bases on the right-hand side. He's prevented his opponent from mining and is actively looking for mining bases on this left side. And there's a High Templar in a nuisance position there by Cass's army.
Yeah, it's going to be up to the Medevacs and Vikings to lead the charge and spot that quickly so that he can throw down the snipe on it, the EMP, whatever he needs to do to deny that from doing damage. Could that Marauder spot it? No, he's just looking for bases. But this is the problem. Because of the positioning of Grubby's army, always in the middle of the map, it's having a really hard time of being able to spot bases down to the bottom right. And he doesn't have that many medevacs anyway, so he can't realistically go for a ton of drops. Because look at how gas-starved he is. He has no gas incoming right now.
Yeah, he's got to mine it from that base up there. Well, Grubby's got a big supply lead now, and he's adding on more and more and more, even with the Dark Shrine. Look at his minimap. It's just so active.
Yeah.
And now he's going to maybe look for a fight. He doesn't really need to. I would imagine he just want to max out since he's the one that's mining properly on the right-hand side. Then take a fight here. It's up to Cass to come to him, especially with the mining setup like this.
Side Templar is being active. Grubby's keeping an eye on it, but the army does not walk into that location. He has to be so careful. Those 5 ghosts that are right there could get fed-backed, or feedbacked, whatever you want to call it. There's a Dark Shrine also on the way for more harassment tools.
Yeah, it's great little pickoffs here. Zealot to an SCV here. Blink Stalker there. A couple High Templars are, well, a little bit brave.
He does now spot that High Templar on the high ground. Drops a snipe on one.
Could have had a good storm there, but missed the opportunity.
And those ghosts now, well... Oh, they're going so close to that feedback potential. Okay, snipes it out on the high ground.
All right, so, well, shield's been upgraded by Grubby.
He actually got a lot of ghosts there. I keep catching the end of these engagements.
Yeah, it's really bad to try to look around while try to keep smooth. There is another High Templar that's coming up the left-hand side, and 5 DTs.
Oh, geez, where are they?
If DTs just go around the production, and even to that mineral line, which he's mining from,
High Templar, you're too slow to catch up to the army. He's like, come back.
These DTs. This will have to force Cass to fight.
Yeah.
He can't go back to defend that, surely.
No, it's so difficult to come back.
And then Grubby will be ready to fight, I would imagine.
There's a feedback as well as a storm on a little bit of that army, and those DTs now just walk in, kill off missile turrets where they can. Of course, there are a few opportunities to scan here for Cass, but as his money runs thin and as his SCV count was down as well, he also has to spend it on mules, right? So...
Yeah, Grubby's up to 182 supply. Very, very slowly played out game here from Grubby. And he's looked to grab the advantage once again in this game for the last little bit here. And he's got an army that's worth fighting for now. And the 2 armies are going to engage now in the middle.
Really good use of like prioritizing targets here with the DTs as well to kill off like add-ons, etc. on starports. Really cutting down on any production that his opponent can actually have.
Right, 200 supply now.
Oh, and he also got the Ghost Academy as well. Should point out.
Time to fight.
Time to fight, man. This is a strong army from Grubby. Wait, how many Vikings are there? 13. Okay, so that's still all right.
The thing why both players are playing so cautiously is that one bad fight means you're not building that army again in this game, which means the game is over. So they have to take the most optimal type of fight.
13 ghosts. Can they do the business, Sean? Can they get the business done? They're the operatives.
Well, they have to snipe, they have to EMP, the Vikings have to target down fast, and it's got to avoid these stalkers. There's not that many of them.
This is the advantage of having Oracle Observer Speed. It keeps up with the army for the entirety, even if it stims and runs away.
Yup.
All right, Cass. He's just looking to, I think, max out and then go, because he can't do anything else.
Yeah. Grubby, I think, is marching to the north where this mining base is. He's going to fight from the high ground up that position. Oh, 2 drops. Oh, dear.
He sees it.
Yeah, oh, dear.
Blinked.
You got blunked, son.
All right, not good. Not good. Not good
Slam
start.
blunked. The Stalkers are going to move around this right-hand side now. And now Cass has to take a fight with no medivac. Well, 2 medivacs. And very, very little healing. Grubby's going to absolutely take a fight here. He's got a perfect army to engage now. He is a little bit in the clumped area where EMPs would be quite strong, so that is something to consider. But he has high tempo on the high ground. Just looking down upon the fight. He's not going to fight there. Doesn't want to fight there.
Pulling back. Taking it steady. Drops a scan, sees that high Templar on the high ground. Going to try and snipe that out. Pew! Go. Oh, can't even reach it. Poor little fellas. Oh well, but he is repairing the Vikings, which is nice to see from Cass, because he absolutely needs to retain those. He doesn't really have that much production left over. He has a little bit of a bank, but he really, ideally, needs out some bio, just some extra ghosts, anything, because ghosts are pretty cost efficient here. Oh, Grubby setting up a cannon wall up to this high ground. He's just taking over the map. He is actually just taking over the map.
He does not want to lose this game. Remember, this is the lower bracket here. Grubby's failed in the round of 32 twice last year. He's not going to want to have that happen again. And slowly, I mean, at the army supply in favor of Grubby, just doesn't want to fight, doesn't want to risk it right now. That's the reason why he's not going in.
And Cass's fears are realized. He spotted this base down to the bottom right that was being taken, and he doesn't spot other bases, but he has to know that his opponent is slowly just consuming the entire of Ultrazeem Stronghold.
And has a bank, 2,000 minerals, 900 gas. When is Grubby going to want to fight? He recalls! All right, see you later.
Did he recall?
He recalled.
Oh, where has he gone?
Down to the bottom.
There we go. We found him.
He recalled. Okay. He recalled. This is the most epic game of 2014 to date. It is the 41-minute mark.
So epic.
The most epic. But this is just a death trap. Wherever he goes, there is potential high Templar around every corner. There is potential of pylons and being reinforced right into. This is a very difficult position for Cass, who over time here, despite not mining a lot of money, he's trickled in enough with his low budget salary to actually afford a decent army now.
Yeah.
And with a low SCV count, there's a lot of army supply. So if he takes the most optimal fight like mentioned before, then there's still an absolute chance that he wins this. But he would have to fight Grubby's army and then fight the reinforcements over and over and over, which is 3,000 minerals, 1,600 gas. So.
And in the end, like, Cass's army is actually a whole lot stronger. A whole lot stronger. Army supplies 172 to 136 because he just doesn't have SCVs. Yeah. So if he can take an engagement, he could kill it off, like, pretty fast. Especially if he actually gets a few more EMPs. He did lose a few ghosts.
Grubby's actually a little bit scared here. He doesn't have enough to recall.
Uh-oh.
And Cass has him trapped on this left-hand side. A couple of DTs warp in to buy himself some time, I would imagine. Right. I assume that Grubby's just going to recall from this point.
I think he can get out down if he goes south and then just runs away. Because
depends if the chase was on or not. Because imagine the Vikings attacking the Colossus there. Like where they are right now from the high ground. Could have been quite deadly.
All right, here's what happens. Grubby throws a Nexus down in some random arbitrary location on the left-hand side, then recalls to it, then kills off a load of production.
Recalls aggressively?
Yeah. Do it. Please, Grubby, please. This would be the sickest.
Mana Nexus, which is used as a proxy location for the recall.
It'd be so cool. I want it to happen one day.
Cass has finally got a good army. Like, he's maxed out now, pretty much.
Strong army.
Very strong army. Hasn't got the best of upgrades, though. He's missing +3 armor, missing attack upgrades on the Vikings.
Grubby's transitioning, though.
Yep. One high Templar. All right, not the best.
It's like the first storm that's actually hit, though.
Yeah, he hasn't hit many of these storms today. So he's actually going to go to the left-hand side now, and Cass is going to go for this. There is a recall available here for Grubby, which I think he may fall onto. Yeah, he's going to go onto the recall.
Yeah.
It's a little bit scary to be over there when you're about to get pinned. Whoop. And he does disappear to the other side of the map again.
Zealots harassing up to the north as well, as in the Dark Templars. How did they get in there? Well, doing all right. They supply block Cass for a second. This is really nice.
Well, Cass is so low on money. He has to fight soon.
Yeah.
You'd think. If he gets chipped away and not able to replenish, so...
I mean, look at the army value of the armies. The army value is heavily in favor of Cass because of how cost efficient the kind of Viking ghost army is. But you've got to be so careful about the splash damage.
If Cass wins this game, I can totally imagine him ripping his shirt in half like the Hulk and screaming, "Terran!" You can imagine it.
Yeah.
You just psych himself up. He'll slap himself multiple times and just go for it.
But I don't think he, like, all that's going to happen is he's going to sit in this ball for ever and ever and ever, and he's going to get stormed and stormed and stormed. There's cannons in the middle. Why are there cannons here?
Because he can.
Because he can. Because he's Grubby.
Oh, earpiece.
Okay, right. This is his time. This is his time. It's Terran time. No, it's not.
There's retreating storms, but that was the last one.
Look how low this army is. Okay. Be efficient, Terran. Push in, push in. He's killing off the transition. That's nice. But that army's so clumped up. EMP's hit a lot of that army. There's only one sentry there with energy. DT's coming from the back as well to try and kill a lot of this off.
No.
And it's just dying. It's just dead.
He can't kill off the Colossus
gone.
even. GG. Grubby will take map number 1 after 46 minutes. And it was a long one because some may say that Grubby had his opponent in a pincer position in the first 15 minutes. But it was drawn out long. Grubby did not want to make a mistake. As mentioned, 20 SCVs, large Terran army, one bad mess up, game could be over. And imagine if Grubby didn't have, for example, reinforcements at that point that took a fight earlier, couldn't get the DTs and reinforcement zealots in there. Then Cass could have been winning potentially.
Yeah, that was an impressive fight and an impressive hold in the end by Cass to actually move the game on that far, because I think we probably, I speak for both of us when we probably think, well, this is Grubby's game. Around that 15-minute mark when he was trying to contain and do well. But Cass sneaking in that base down to the bottom left-hand side, really keeping him alive and steady throughout that and taking favorable engagements only for him. And we still have to commend him for his ability to deal with High Templars, because that was really well done.
He did. And it's not difficult to be able to control your army, Ghosts and Vikings all at the same time, as easy as Cass seemed to have made it look there in that game. And as a lot of top Terran players like Tasia are able to make it look. Yeah. It's not easy to do. But we are now loading, or about to load into the next map. It is going to be Heavy Rain. This is a map where we have seen more successful Terran play, especially with Protoss players who try to take a third. They get dropped all over the place. But what is Grubby going to use here? Is he going to try and go to something that we see in SK Telecom's classic use a lot, the blink play into Zealot charge and so on and so on with high gateway counts? Is he going to try an Oracle in again in this game? Remember that started off with Command Center first versus a 1-gate Nexus Oracle build.
Yeah. So anything can lead on here as we go into Heavy Rain. And Cass, man, he has to bloodlust it. He has to hulk up and just keep going.
If he won that game, he would have ripped his Empire t-shirt off and just screamed Terran.
Yeah.
Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. Any Terran player would. Any Terran player would.
There would have been this dramatic camera angle that zoomed out as he looked up into the air.
Yeah.
Terran!
Yeah. And if he was streaming or was... imagine if it was actually the round of 16 and Cass had that attitude and he grabs the cameraman. Because the camera... If you've never been to the studio for an event or been to a live event, the cameramen, if you're not in a booth, are actually like this in your face.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
And you could grab it if you wanted to.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And imagine him just screaming into the camera.
But he's like one of the most
That's
calm
what I said.
people.
If he had that attitude. Imagine if there was a player out there that had that.
I hope this happens.
Just grabs a camera and shakes it, screaming, Terran!
We need Damaga to change to Terran.
Yeah, imagine that. If Damaga played Terran, he would be the one.
He would do this. He definitely would. All right, spawning down to the bottom as our red Protoss. Currently 1 game up. He is Grubby. And up to the north, we have our blue Terran representing Team Empire trying to hold on. He is Cass.
I'm sure Grubby would have been kicking himself a little bit for allowing, after having all those probes and pylons, that base to be there that allowed Cass to mine from 3 despite Grubby thinking he was on 2.
Yeah, that could have... I mean, Grubby seeing that with Zealots, he's like, oh, I could have ended this before.
Yeah,
but
I definitely think he could have made a faster Colossus switch, probably.
No, I would agree. I would agree.
Because that's something that Cass just wasn't ready for. Because when that one Colossus was there that was doing a lot of damage, it was because there was only 2 Vikings or so.
Yeah.
And he kept on, adding on Zealots and stuff right into the army. I think he could have tried that, but all hindsight, I guess, looking back.
And all in all, we now look on to game number 2. After a great game number 1. Fantastic, fantastic game. But... let's see what's going to happen here. Cass already opens up with the gas and positions his barracks over on this left-hand side. So we could actually even see a reactor come down from this if he wants to go up for a multitude of Reapers. But it could just go for the Reaper.
Yeah, you have seen some players do that to try to surprise the Protoss player. But from this position, it should be just the regular one Reaper. Interested to see if Cass is a player who will follow up from this with a factory, which has been very common recently, but there are still Terran players that do follow up after the command center is built with just the regular edition of the barracks. That'll be something I'm looking forward to seeing if Cass wants to be a factory player, but he never has been. Never, ever really seen him play like that with a Winter Mine drop, but we'll see if he does it in this game. There's Grubby, just once again, a regular setup with his one gateway and his one gas.
With his little wall going on as well. Yeah, he's just trying to make sure that that Reaper has a little bit of a harder time jumping a boot. And it's just a very, very good location to cover in general. As we've already mentioned before, and he's actually also scouting out for a proxy. I very, very rarely see Cass ever proxying.
Yeah.
But Grubby's just being safe, being cautious.
Could have been something that maybe Cass has done on the ladder a couple of times to Grubby in the past.
Yeah.
With a really fast factory, would have been gas first into factory on that side. But yeah, so the Nexus is down and the Reaper is out, followed by Reactor here. And this is when the choice is going to come in for Cass and how he's going to play this game out. He may decide to wait until the Reaper actually goes in to scout before he makes that choice, if he wants to just delay it a little bit.
Reaper also, if it survives all of the treacherous scouting around in his opponent's base, might head up to the top right and see if he can see what that probe is up to. He obviously hasn't seen it yet, but Reaper on any map is a really good choice for just scouting out the entirety of the map in general.
And that's exactly what he's doing right now, and finds himself a little bit blocked, and the probes are like, "You come this way, sir!"
That keeps happening. Like, Terrans keep going up against the wall. And it's like, oh, panic, panic,
Yeah.
Reaper, I'm trapped, I'm trapped. It's like a little fly.
You do not want to lose that Reaper early on.
Yeah.
But Grubby gets a good probe scout here.
Wow.
Actually goes in and sees the barracks. Great timing with that, and knows the follow-up, and has chosen to go on Blink here. Has chosen Twilight Council, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, which does enable Blink to be upgraded as an ability, and also has the option for the Dark Shrine. But most likely from this position, this is going to be some Blink. Some Blink in action. Grubby's going to be looking in the screen, blinking away.
He's a blinking Protoss, that's what he is. And this tech lab is very, very wisely placed here for Cass to make sure that it's well defended against any kind of blinking play. So he's all right. Very hard to snipe out that stim.
Yeah, and their Blink is being researched and Chrono Boost into straight away. But the Reaper is still around, and it is going to be actively looking towards the back there. But is he going to be able to get any information is the big question here. Second Stalker about to poke out, which does make this a lot easier to push the Reaper back. And Grubby will want to start moving out soon. The longer he waits, the harder this is, because, of course, the more delayed it is. But, of course, then he doesn't want the Reaper just to have free control either.
How many gateways do you think he adds?
It's difficult to tell. It depends on when he adds them.
Well, we'll see in just a little bit here as Grubby is preparing himself. Still Chrono Boosting into that Blink, as you can see.
He's got a lot of probes, so
Ooh.
it may not just be the regular 2 or 3. It could be more.
Look at Sneaky Cass. Where's he going with this little army on the right-hand side? Maybe looking for a bit of a counter after maybe anticipating what his opponent's going to do on a map like this.
Yeah.
There's the extra gateways.
But this can also backfire too.
Yeah, it
because with 3 Stalkers ready, Time Warp available, and, well, actually,
He gets
3
spotted.
Stalkers, he gets spotted, which is actually a massive pickup, despite that probe being the one to go out and build a pylon here.
Yeah.
It'll have to be a photon overcharge. I don't think he's got, with 3 Stalkers, it's not enough to challenge these units.
Oh, and it lures those units out of position, and now the Reaper jumps on in, gets confirmation of the gateways in the Twilight Council.
Well, hello there, Blink.
Hello. You Reaper, you did not die in vain. You are a hero amongst men.
But this has already just not gone very well for Grubby. He lost his probe on the right-hand side. It's been spotted. He throws down the gases in a Forge. The Forge, most likely, is the most common fault we do see, is for armor. And then he'll focus on getting Zealot Charge pretty fast. But that, again, is just assuming that Grubby does want to play like so we've seen from Classic, for example. And the Reaper catches the probes. Wow.
Oh, this is the second Reaper, actually.
Yeah.
So
that's really nice to be able to do that. But he sees the probe, sees the pylon, is going to be expecting Grubby to try and do something with this. And Grubby definitely has to do something.
Stalker!
This is not going very well.
No, it's really not. Cass is playing this out great, whilst Grubby has been a bit unfortunate in his positioning throughout the entirety of the game, be it a probe moving out, being a pylon being thrown down, etc.
Remember, Stim is done too, so these units are a little bit scarier than they may just look.
Yeah, quite menacing. And they are now going to actually blink up into the main here whilst there's no units
Yeah, that's
at
pretty
home.
good, considering Cass is so far out.
It's the one fortunate move we've seen here so far from Grubby, as he does get in there, brings down that bunker, and now we'll go to work on these SCVs.
But Cass has got units waiting for the blink out while going in for the units.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice if he can orchestrate this right.
So even if he loses SCVs, but if he catches this army...
Right now, let's look at Grubby's vision. He doesn't see those units on the low ground at all, but now they stim up straight away as the blink goes down. Recalls out.
Yeah, nice
really
recall.
Good reaction times there by Grubby.
Yeah, and overall that was good there for Grubby. A couple of SCVs killed there, but the big problem is that Zealot Charge wasn't made straight away, so it's only just being made. Grubby has this period in the game where he technically is a little bit weak. He's got a lot of gateways been added on, which is going to be for a total of 8, I think. But this period can be kind of difficult to deal with. Sure, you have Blink, but without Zealot Charge, you can't jump right in there. There's no Temporal Archives either.
A little bit difficult to deal with, gotta say. Does he doesn't
He's
have any
double
medevacs
expanding,
with
by
this.
the way. Look at this. Cass has like got a... I think he just had a lot of minerals just floating. He's like, all right, well, I'll just double expand.
And the thing is that although those minerals didn't come from like salvaging bunkers or anything, they were just there. So
I wasn't watching his mineral, his resource count, but that's a lot.
drops a scan, sees this army, feeling, maybe not. For an overcharge and a stim in and no medevacs to support this, it would be a little bit hard for Cass to do much. Reaper gets in again, though.
Yeah, this has been played out really well by Cass.
Yeah.
It was good that Grubby, in that small little engagement, that was able to kill SCVs and get away with his Stalkers, but in the overall picture here, you have to favor Cass. Has he got... No, Engineering Bay. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, yeah.
No NGs.
I think Cass was probably thinking along the same lines as me there. He's like, wait a minute. He hasn't got any upgrades, so he's got to go double Engineering Bay here, which can be his only hindrance in this game. Because it's going to be +2 armor by the time that +1 attack is done. So that's actually a little bit scary if there were to be fights.
Yeah, those Zealots with charge are actually, once again, not going to die. Because not only do we not see weapons upgrades, but we also don't see a Ghost Academy anytime soon. It's not on the way. So he doesn't have EMP to bring them down. He's just going to have to deal with it with Tickle Power alone.
But so far, this is pretty decent. The army supply in favor of Cass by a little bit.
And he sees the extent of his opponent's army whilst pressing on at the left-hand side with his lone Zealot.
Yeah.
But now he's seen both of these expansions.
Yeah. Grubby's like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. He's actually going to move out with this. I wonder if he knows about his opponent's upgrades. I wonder if he like clicked on these units, because that's, with +2 armor, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Stalkers and Zealots now. It's 13 Zealots, 9 Stalkers. Colossus is on the way too, but that +2 armor's not that far away.
No. Blinks into this, realizing Planetary Fortress is on the way, and needs to pull back actually for a second. He's going to lose a lot of these Zealots if he's not careful, but they do take a while to die. Nice force fields will cut a little bit of that off, but the Zealots aren't really doing a whole lot against this army at the back. He has to pull back away from that. There's more to buy time and retreat than anything. Whoa.
Oh, it's a big pickup right on top of an Observer.
Yeah. All right, so Grubby's going to come back.
There.
And even the pylon will spot it as well. So Cass, with this pylon seeing it, should just kill this off and go on an alternate route.
Yeah. And nice attempt for 3 Zealots here, but Cass is on top of things. Nice bunker placement and good to have his units close. But still, Grubby's got a lot of active forces on this left-hand side. Cass spread kind of thin across these 3rd and 4th base.
+2 armor done. If he were to go, that's a lot of power that he has, and this army is very spread, as you just mentioned. He blinks forwards to try and pick off that medevac, and a lot of force fields do go down, trapping that, but a lot of those Zealots at the back aren't really being that useful. Has to recall out. Wasn't the most amazing of engagements.
Cass has a lot of units.
Yeah.
A lot of Marines and Marauders now. But this Colossus is going to be a surprise to him. He hasn't got any Vikings at all. There's one already out, a second one on its way.
The Observers are just doing such a good job of keeping an eye on his opponent's army.
Yeah.
Of course, this right-hand side, Cass's army will get spotted by a pylon as well. So Grubby is going to stabilize on 3 base eventually, but Cass is already flying away with this.
I think Grubby may be just looking to end the game soon. The lack of probe production.
Ooh. Yeah.
He's very low on probes, right? Okay, he's starting to build up again. It's just funny because he hasn't got that many probes. He has a lot of potential to spend all that gas into Archon, so I think there could be some form of timing with a couple of Colossus that he could try to hit against Cass.
Tries to snipe this out. Slightly supply blocked here, and he is going to get it. He needs to retreat out of there, though.
This could be...
This prompts him.
This could prompt Grubby to attack. Yeah. He's got such a large amount of units, and with pretty decent upgrades too, and if he sinks that 1200 gas, into Archons. Imagine that.
Yeah, that would be very, very scary. And this army on the left-hand side is slowly getting killed off.
Quite majorly pylon block, though.
Yeah, he was. Especially with that Nexus dying as well. That was a bit of a hindrance to him. So, because he was at 149 to 150 before that. But now Grubby's just going to pull on back, and
I definitely think there's an opportunity before the 2-2 upgrades complete. Of course, Grubby doesn't know when the 2-2 upgrades are going to be completed, but like I said, if he was able to sink the gas now and then try an attack, it just depends on if he feels comfortable in knowing that that could be an opportunity, because of course we see everything he doesn't.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Cass is just sat at home, sitting pretty on his production, just cranking everything out. He's now started his Ghost Academy, which he will need to deal with High Templars, but still, Grubby's... I mean, Cass is going to max out very, very soon, and 2-2 will finish before any engagement properly comes, unless Cass forces it.
Yeah, and this is good. This is very good for Cass right now. Vikings being made, Ghost Academy on the way, overall good army supply, killed that third base, didn't have to deal with an attack of no sort, is on 4 bases.
Whoa. And has to be careful with that. They did get spotted moving out into the left-hand side, and Cass will pull that back. Doesn't want to take any risks.
Yeah, and just goes back to his main army here. But still no Vikings as of yet, and there are 3 Colossus.
This could be good actually here for Grubby, as he does charge forwards with a lot of these Zealots, but 2-2 is just not completed. So this is probably the best opportunity he's going to get to actually do some damage to this army, but it falls back to a Planetary Fortress. I'm not sure he's going to be able to break this.
No, not with reinforcements, no way.
Another Colossus is on the way. Storm is finished, and he's going to lose one of the Colossi. No, he doesn't. He actually uses that Storm to actually zone those units out whilst they chase on forwards once again.
He's got to be careful. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's a lot of Storms. Grubby might press the issue, but 2-2 is now completed. If he can heal up this army, it's going to hold on.
Whoa, that was a little bit of an overstep there. And even fighting without the Planetary Fortress is just an overstep in itself. Even though there's a lot of Marauders here, there's no Vikings, and there's 4 Colossus there. And Grubby's going to put up a forward pylon here. He's got +2 attack, not far away from finishing. There's an opportunity again here for Grubby. I felt that even though Cass has just been so strong, such good economy and good production, is that there's always opportunities here for Grubby to fight. He just has the better army.
It's 8 Ghosts out now as well, though, here for Cass. So that's going to equalize things up quite nicely. As if they land the EMPs in the right locations, once again, we saw how good Cass can dodge those Storms in game number 1, but the previous Storms were very, very good for Grubby. Has to be careful. EMP did not hit that High Templar. Nice pullback there for Grubby, but the Storm likewise did not hit as well.
Yeah, Cass has got starting to build that Viking count very high. He only had a couple just now, but now he's up to 13 or 11.
Yeah. So it's a strong, strong number, slowly picking away at this army on the right-hand side, this base on the right-hand side. EMPs will land, hitting a few of those High Templars. There's still 2 at the front, the back though, that do have energy. He landed another EMP and another snipe.
Can't help but feel that Cass is playing so good in these past couple of games.
Yeah, he really is. He's showing very, very good form here against Protoss. Even though he lost that previous game, it's still...
His army control has just been really, really class.
Yeah.
Grubby's making a couple of mistakes here and there for sure, but overall, you know, Cass has been playing this out really, really nicely. He's moving forward now. He hasn't started to research 3-3, which is a little bit surprising here for Cass, considering his gas and mineral bank.
And whilst there is 3-3 on the way for Grubby, so if Grubby can last out and get up into a good army himself, then he could be okay.
Oh, well, the ship call's gone.
Didn't have that much energy, though, so actually replenishing it here could be all right, because it'll have more health or something like that, but it's very, very minor at this point.
1 medevac to spot on the high grounds.
Will grab it with the Stalkers. Nope, doesn't even get that. And will kill off this base, almost guaranteed. Bye-bye.
Storm on the ramp there.
Mothership core pops. And yeah, it does have a little bit more energy than it did before it died, so... But, again, it's by the by here, as now the expansion is on the way up to the top right-hand corner here. Grubby can't really afford to lose a whole lot. Another great EMP. Not too bad a Storm, though.
Yeah, but good flick back, not to take too much damage.
Yeah. All right, well... Cass, once again, is going to play this out slowly. And, catches a medevac. Needs to blink back. It doesn't have it off cooldown, though.
A lot of SCVs on Cass's third are not mining, by the way, I just noticed. Yeah, they're just sitting there now.
That's the natural... Oh, right, okay, over here, yeah.
But Grubby's up on 4 bases now on this right-hand side, and will start to increase his income to match Cass's for the first time here, who, very weirdly, has a much, much larger bank than the Protoss player, which you don't really see too often. And that has been because he's been on these bases for so long. 5 extra command centers. Starting to spend that dough.
Jeez. Well, I guess he's not going to need SCVs for that much longer. Whoa, actually blinks forwards with some of these Stalkers. A great EMP hits a lot of those Zealots, but the 3 High Templars at the back still have energy. He needs to land EMPs on those. Does see a little bit of this army, but that third will end up falling so rapidly. Cass is going to get out of there.
I can't believe he squeezed through the middle there.
Yeah.
Picks off that low health Colossus.
It's normally a great position to engage for the Protoss, right?
Absolutely, but Cass jumped up there, and even though if Grubby was maybe slightly more to the left, it could have been a bit more dangerous, but he jumped up there, killed the third, and got out.
Crazy, crazy stuff so far. Cass now looking to expand into the middle, into an aggressive position. But he doesn't have that many medevacs, so his army is always getting kind of brutalized with those stims.
God, I'm really enjoying these games today. I'm almost watching and not really looking around too much and just enjoying the movement of the armies more than anything. Great games today.
Yeah, I keep commending what we're seeing here from Cass in terms of the army movement. You're right, it's just been great against all of the Storms that really haven't done a whole lot, aside from those 2 on the left-hand side.
And it's so sad that one of these players is going to get eliminated. Grubby currently leading 1-0. Whew. There's the primary colors circles there for you, Claris.
Doing all right. I like my primary colors. Whoop. Gets himself another medevac. He keeps killing them off. There's only 3 still alive. Okay, there is 17 Vikings.
That's a lot of Vikings and a lot of Ghosts. Notice how he just doesn't have any Marines at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. You have a couple, but that's it.
They're not going to do too much.
It's all about getting rid of the Colossus, getting rid of the High Templar, and everything else will do good for you.
It'll do reet.
All right. Well, nice position with the Stalkers. Good hiding the Colossus at the back, and great killing off the rocks to get into the third base of Cass.
Yeah, this is a little bit unfortunate there for Cass, who kind of got a bit caught out of position. Oh, feedbacks and snipes.
This game.
Stop. There you go.
It's so
That's how I cast that bit.
It has to be so carefully controlled. One mistake and you're gone. Grubby swings around the right, gets to the third, just like Cass did earlier.
Ooh.
Jeez. The mothership core there with a storm. And, well, the game is going on. 3-3 about to complete now for Cass finally, after getting that done. Another Robo coming in for Grubby so he can really increase that Colossus count in a trade-off of potential no Vikings.
And in the end, I mean, aside from people looking at a lot of Ghosts in these compositions and saying, well, yeah, EMP's fantastic. Oh, this is a good position with these Stalkers. They also do just really, really well against heavy Zealot counts in general because of that bonus damage. So it's always nice to have a lot of them against an army like this. But there's not that many Zealots still in this composition now. Catch another High Templar.
Yeah, there's one on the left that storms at the front of the army. Didn't really get anything there.
And that's the thing. Like, Grubby now has lost so many High Templars that he's having to just kind of do these compensationary storms where he like storms in the front of them and doesn't actually go forwards because he can't stray forwards any further. Cass is so good about keeping an eye on these High Temps.
Grubby's still got 10 of them around somewhere, or 8 of them around somewhere, positioned very defensively while he moves to the left-hand side here. Is he going to go for the planetary? Is he going to go far enough?
He might just try and snipe it and recall out. That's the best thing that I can think he can do here, but he's going to lose a bit for it. Cass now, both army supplies are so close.
And Grubby's the one with the bank at the moment after being able to mine from these bases without losing too much.
Yeah.
One storm on the cloak Ghost. Grubby's army's still alive on the left. Where is Cass going to go?
Is he going to go? Oh, no, he has to recall.
Oh, there's a storm on the third. Oh, he stims and kind of misses it.
All right, okay. So
this army is so blinking low.
He just has no... the 2 medevacs that he has have no energy. Where did he recall to? Oh, okay, recalled over here.
Imagine if it was on the left. That would be scary too.
I'm having a hard time observing this. 1 second, he needs to roll my sleeves up. All right.
Cass still with an army supply lead, but his economy, through these simple moves by Grubby, have just been destroyed. Grubby's got a good bank, a good army supply, and is building 2 more Colossus to join the ones he already has out. Oh, Cass's army is so low, he's trying to build more medevacs, but I think that Grubby's starting to edge out in this one.
Yeah,
through killing off these bases.
The Colossi aren't going to be I mean, they're going to do a lot of damage. I mean, I was looking at the numbers and I was like, yeah, okay, there's 16 Vikings, but 16 Vikings, they will kill those Colossi fast, but when you're having to target them all down, 6 alone are going to do quite a bit of splash damage as well, especially to an army that's so low.
Yeah, the 7, can't believe 7 Colossus out.
Yeah. And all these High Templars are leading the charge now once again. They're looking for the storms.
Oh, there could be a good one here on the right-hand side.
There certainly could be. He's looking for it. Be careful, Cass. Look how many ghosts he has. 21.
He's going to sit on the... Oh, there's a medevac right above it. Okay.
Okay, he sees.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull back.
Looking for the snipe.
But then Grubby's going over here again. He's going to start picking off all these command centers. And Cass, yeah, he can pick off this base down here. But I don't think Grubby's going to mind that much. He's got another one on the right-hand side, and he's killing off a lot that Cass has. And the Colossus count is 9.
And any storm that keeps going down during all of this is slowly whittling down Cass. I mean, again, still, no medevacs. Where are the medevacs? They're just not useful at this point. Jesus, this Colossus count is crazy.
It's going to be so brutal when they fight.
Yeah.
Because there's still storms, remember?
The ground will vaporize. It will actually just disappear.
With everything being on 40, 50, 60 odd hit points.
Yeah.
Everything's so low. And Cass has to go back to defend now. He has to fight this army. And that's when Grubby will turn around and fight himself. Can the Vikings maybe get rid of the Colossus first?
They're going to lead the charge. They're going to try.
There's the High Templar ready to storm the Vikings.
Oh, and they're clumped up. Oh, that was a good storm. That was a good initial storm here that does bring them down a little bit, but now they're going to go to work. One of the Colossus will fall rapidly. So will a second.
Hey, that's a good start.
Where is the entire army? Where he needs to deal with the Vikings. He's just... Where is the... He can't recall.
One Viking's going to kill it. He can't recall.
Oh, okay, he's trapped. He is completely trapped. The Colossus numbers are going to fall. He's trying to force field this out so he can deal with the Vikings quickly enough. But now this army is relatively high in terms of health. He got a little bit of army.
He's going to lose every single Colossus. He can just go back with the Marines and Marauders, just go with the Vikings.
If he just actually stays out of the way, because he's taking a lot of damage from those Colossi as well. They're looking to do some damage themselves, but the Vikings are doing the business. They're doing the job that they need to. All the Colossi fall, and now... Okay, so it's 79 army supply to 55.
But still, at this point, Grubby has a better income there. That was so good for Cass to win that. But there's still 21 Zealots on the map. There are only a couple of units left for Cass. He's going to drop this right-hand side.
There's 2 SCVs and only mules from this point on. So
yeah, mules are fine, man.
Mules, yeah, they do pretty well for themselves.
He drops on multiple bases here to get his income going again. But, oh... If these medivacs die,
and
Grubby sees them too, of course.
Yeah. What does he have? He only has Zealots and 2 High Templars over there.
A couple of ghosts. These are going to be very important ghosts.
All right, so he charges forwards, pushes this away. The army for Cass is just so good.
Yeah, and if he lands the right EMPs on these Zealots, it'll be like the film The Last Samurai, where they're all running at the end, and then the machine gun's like...
It's like, no!
That would be like the Marines and Marauders against EMP'd Zealots. But the Colossus count is starting to rise again. It's not a good idea to build Colossus. There are still 11 Vikings.
Yeah.
There's only one.
May as well just focus straight down on anything else.
But what does he focus on? Is it High Templar that can get EMP'd? Is it Immortals that get EMP'd? Is it Zealots that could get EMP'd as well?
You're right, actually.
It's a very difficult thing for Grubby to build an army right now, because what exactly does he build with his bang?
I think you have to go for a bit of everything and just call your opponent's bluff, which is there is no bluff to call because he has the army capable of dealing with it, but you've got to try and mix and match.
And Cass could, if he wins this game, this is the game that he rips his shirt and screams Terran. Here's a good start. One Colossus instantly dies. A nice flick back again with his army against that storm.
Gotta be so careful. He knows the army's positioning as well because he saw it with a scan. That one High Templar.
One storm could ruin his day.
Nice feedbacks.
All feedbacks. That's annoying too. He knows there's an observer over his army now. 3 Ghosts and a Marauder on the left-hand side defend against Zealots.
All right, I figured it out.
What?
Somehow he needs to keep feedbacking all the Ghosts, and because Cass only has 2 SCVs, he can't get any more gas to replenish Ghosts. But it's going to take a while.
All right, he's actually chasing down another High Templar who, again, loses one and gets stormed.
How many Ghosts? Still 11. Still 11. There is a bit more on bank.
And he's stimming very, not very often right now, realizing that he doesn't have enough energy on these medivacs.
Yeah, he has to be so careful.
He's got a lot of units at home. Cass does not want to fight until all these units on his natural are together. That's a lot of units he has. But if they get separated, he needs to join his whole army together.
Catches one Viking, but drops the scan, realizing that the army's there, and has to pull away. Cass is playing this out so patiently, so carefully. I think Cass could
maybe win this, and it would be the sickest game.
Oh, these 4 medevacs reinforcing are so important as well, just to keep this army alive for as long as it can. This is...
All right, he sees a High Templar. Grubby obviously knows that that's there. He has to pull that back.
The army's getting good now for Cass. It's getting really good. 13 Ghosts.
He's cloaked up. He hits the Immortal. He comes to the left-hand side. He hits a lot of the Zealots now. Is this going to be the time where he goes into fight? There's one High Templar. One High Templar close. That's it.
There's 1 SCV. He makes 5 SCVs at a time because he's like, I kind of need some money now. This is a bit brutal.
But Grubby's mining kind of on this 3rd base.
Yeah.
Cass scans. sees nothing right now because Grubby's outside of the range. Tries to get rid of the Observer, and does.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was EMP'd. It was
There is
nice.
a cannon there, which gives detection to Cass. And there is still High Templar waiting to storm away. And another Observer on top of his army too, so...
I'm going to stick with it. I think his job is get rid of the ghosts. If he can, maybe he can do this. But other than that, I don't see how.
2 more High Templar gone. Only 2 left. There are only 2 High Templar left. Grubby's abandoning Kiz in the third. And Cass is coming for it, and he's going to snipe the one of the High Templar full of energy.
So good.
There's another High Templar in the main base, but that isn't even used for defense now. So Grubby's actually going to go to the other side of the map, and he loses his last mining base. Grubby has no more income with this Nexus being destroyed. There is one High Templar on the high ground. Glorious!
Okay, I've got it.
And no damage dealt.
No.
And
Still
now
no
it's
storm.
army versus army. There is
Was the Observer? Okay.
no
it's okay.
splash damage at all.
All right, these 3 ghosts need to die because they're actually doing quite a bit of work. And this is just going to continue on. Grubby is actually just going to try and go for pure base trade. He feels that he can't beat him in a direct fight. Another EMP hits the mothership core, which drains all of its energy as well. And he forces this base away. Whew.
I think he can fight the army now. I really think that Cass has got the army to do it. Grubby has no income. Likewise does Cass for the time being. There's 2 ghosts on the high ground there.
I mean,
just like cloaked up.
Yeah, they're doing well. He does have to, but he has like 1 Stalker and the 2 Immortals to try and hit that
Imagine,
as well.
oh no, I was going to say,
Nice attempt.
he's got no SCVs at all.
1 Stalker blinks up to kill the ghost. He gets him. But here's the thing, is that I was saying, oh yeah, you need to kill the ghost. But likewise, Cass only really needed to kill the High Templars as well.
Well, there's 2 High Templars left.
And
but there's no splash damage. The Zealots are pretty well upgraded, of course, as the Immortals. Cass's army is 332.
but that many Zealots just can't compete with that bio. That's so
way.
strong.
It will be like the Last Samurai.
Yeah, they will get absolutely mowed down. It will be sad for them.
The Last SCV
Oh,
survives.
He even gets healed. Bless him. Good
They
job.
are no longer extinct. They're back. Oh, God, this game. I think both players need to do that.
And just take a chill. Just chill out for a second. Army supply is still way in favor of Cass. Oh, actually, worker supply. 5-2. Oh, 5-4. Oh, great. Why is he remaking? Well, I guess he has to kind of remake probes and try, but Grubby's not a quitter. He's going to keep going. I don't see how he can fight this.
Well, 2 more Zealots die. Remember, Grubby is long-distance mining with 4 probes, so every unit he loses. And he knows that, you know, Cass is mining on this left side. This may be a fight that Grubby tries to take. Where are the High Templar? They shouldn't really be...
They're leading it.
Okay, they're leading it. Okay, this is...
Oh, good feedbacks.
Ooh, he gets rid of a couple of the ghosts, but there's still a lot more ghosts, so... And there's 1 High Templar left.
Yeah, he actually needs
2
to save
observers on the mountains.
He needs to save that High Templar, get it back, let
Oh,
it
he's getting
recruit
rid of the
energy.
observers, then he can just cloak.
Uh-oh. Wait,
There's 1 on the left-hand side there, on the mountain.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't see. And he thinks that there's no... well, there is 1 observer with that army, by the way.
He's going to try and time warp and catch some of these. But at the same time, they did get EMP'd. The Mothership Core does end up falling. This is going to be the last fight. The Zealots have to try and charge on forwards. Will they be able to do the damage? I don't think so. That bio is actually just shredding through them. And there we go. That's going to be it all. At all. There you go. GG. He screams and shouts and looks into the air.
He grabs the cameraman and goes, Terran! That's how you win.
I can't. It took a long time.
Another 42-minute game, and Cass leading the charge here. And tied up a piece. A fantastic game from both sides there. And that means we're going to game number 3 between these 2 players, Kalaris. Game number 3. Wow. Wow. What some games we're seeing today.
If we see another one, I'll be pretty happy. But I'm also pretty tired. I bet they are as well. Jeez.
Wow.
Crazy games.
All right, we're getting invites straight into the next one here at the World Championship Series. This is, of course, Group F in the Europe Premier League. We've already had 11 players go through, including 1 from today. And this is the losers match between these 2 players. So whoever loses this next one on Habitation Station, well, we'll find out. Cass is saying, give me 1 or 2 minutes, please, my hands hurt.
I'm not surprised.
Does kind of make a little bit of sense.
I just have to keep reiterating this. His army control is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, have we actually seen Cass take 1 storm?
We saw 2 during that game.
Really big ones.
I would say the 2 on the left-hand side during that. But other than that, where he kind of
Out
got
of
caught in
how
a
many
weird
storms
place.
have been planted, you know?
It's like 50, let's say 50 storms or something.
Yeah.
Like, those are the only 2 that have really done big damage. And again, it was in a bit of a wonky place with the terrain, like not really working out for him as he was trying to chase down units. It's just been great. I mean, can say that Grubby's been doing all right with his feedbacks, but it's really been Cass's snipes and EMPs that have been shining through here.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Really good play from both of these, and it will just come down to one map now. And imagine if it was just like a 5-10 minute map,
Just like,
which
yeah.
you know, definitely could be. But definitely now, I'd imagine that both players are going to try and calm themselves down. That was a very high adrenaline pumped game, and thoughts coming into this next one will be, of course, Grubby, what strategy is he overall going to use here? In Terran versus Protoss is usually up to the Protoss player to make the initial decisions. And then Cass, how he's going to play it out from this.
I mean, we've seen Grubby go into really crazy builds in very high-octane situations. Things like, let's think back to Intel Extreme Masters Singapore, not the recent one, but the previous one, in the very final against Sting, of all people. He decides to go for a 2-gate proxy, thinking his opponent's going to go command center first. It didn't happen. He just loses from that point on. But certainly something crazy could happen.
Yeah, definitely could. And then, of course, Genius waiting for the winner of this game for us to decide who plays who. Whew.
Good day so far. Good day.
Good games, yeah. It's a good group. It's full of favorites, full of people that everyone wants to watch, and the games have been pretty awesome as well.
Crazy times. Habitation Station is our next map. What do you think of this? What do you make of it here? After seeing those 2 games, my back hurts.
I like this map for Cass. I do. I mean, I think it's okay for both sides here. Cass lost on this map earlier on, if you remember. Lost versus the fast. No, lost versus the Colossus push versus Genius.
Yeah, which just kind of, again, just backhanded him, unfortunately, for him.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
All right.
So I think just waiting on Cass. It's just waiting on Cass right now. He's asked for a couple of minutes. Grubby's obviously not going to say, I don't want these minutes.
Well, Grubby's listed as Terran, so that's why I don't think he's ready at this point. But yeah,
Who do you think wins this one then?
After seeing those 2 games, I think if we see a normal macro game unfold once again, I think Cass. I really do. He's looked good.
Yeah, he's looked really good today. You know, in the games that he lost against Genius were things he couldn't really control.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, of course, he could improve his scouting and try to look for these things maybe, but overall, when it came to what he was doing rather than what his opponent was doing, looked very clean. And likewise against Grubby today. But Cass is ready. Grubby is now finally ready as well. So it will just come down to this next map. Everything on the line here.
Yeah.
This is obviously not going to decide if they move into the round of 16, but this decides if they go out in last place or have the chance to play and requalify for Premier.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're now loading up for our final map. Winner will advance on to play against Genius for that second round 16 spot. And down to the wire. I wouldn't have expected any less after seeing these last 2 games. Absolutely down to the wire. If we see something crazy, I'm going to absolutely explode.
Definitely could happen. There's, you know, proxy 2 barracks, gateways, whatever.
All right.
I have a feeling it might be normal, though.
I think so as well. All right. Spawning up to the top left as our red Protoss, we have, representing the Netherlands, it is Grubby. And up to the top right, our blue Terran. Representing Team Empire, it is Cass.
Yeah.
You got to remember, though, as these games are getting on longer and longer and longer, in that final series, it's getting really late in Korea.
Yeah.
Really late.
Genius taking a nap. Quick nap right now before his games go on.
It's getting very, very late there. So you got to be careful of that. Maybe fatigue will come into it. We'll find out in a bit. As Cass now just opens up the supply depot at the very, very back of this. And Grubby is going to start doing his little wall-offs again for the Reapers.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll see Reapers. I think Cass last time went 1 barracks command center, 3 command centers.
Yes, he did.
Every player that usually plays in WCS, rather than playing games themselves, I'm pretty sure they mostly tune in to watch the games as they wait for their game to come up next. So I wouldn't have been surprised, especially considering Genius plays Protoss like Grubby does, that Grubby watched the games earlier when Cass was playing, would have seen him do that. But we do have a probe scout that has looked down in case there was barracks, by the looks of it, just at the south of his natural or outside of his naturalness. Moving down a little bit. Oh, actually, no, that's fine. I was just looking for the minimap. It's fine.
Uh-oh.
But he is going to look at the goal base.
Might actually proxy a pylon over here.
I think he is going to Colaris.
With these 2 gases.
You're going to see a pretty fast Oracle.
All right. And
Cass is 1 barracks command center. Reaper's not exactly going to go up there. Cass, if I remember exactly again, sent a Marine to look around. The SCV went to scout. The Marine looked around the natural and then south of the natural, but never went to the goal base.
Yeah.
And this may be the reason why Grubby's choosing this.
Maybe. You're right. This could hurt Cass. He has to be very careful. Seen Grubby using a lot of Oracle play as of late, be it on stream or elsewhere, and this is going to get tense. We know what's going to happen from here, guys. It's going to be SCV's dead if he's not careful.
I think this could do a lot of damage here.
And this is what Grubby does, man. I told you in these high...
He's blocking the engineer. He's doing the engineering bay block. He's doing the engineering bay block. He's not scouting out. He's going to have a low health SCV. He can hardly go into the main base to scout here.
He's leaving. But no, wait, there's going to be a stalker out as well. That's really important because...
Why didn't he scout?
Yeah.
He has no information.
Yes.
Oh, there's going to be an Oracle.
You sound kind of hazy there, Sean. He needs to go up. He needs to go up into gold. He's not going up. He's not going up.
Oh, the Marine actually comes and picks off the probe, and that's really funny because the Marine's just going to go back.
Yeah, he just like
Stalker comes out, and the Oracle is going to be there so fast.
And now Cass probably thinks, oh, you cancelled the Zealot. Ha ha ha, I'm getting away with this to block off your expansion. But the Oracle is on the way. How many Marines are there? There's...
None in the main base.
Uh-oh.
There's 3 on the mineral line and about to be 4.
He needs to be active. He needs to be very, very active about spotting this. He brings his 3 up to the top of the ramp.
There has to be a second Oracle behind this too, just because of the way that this has been played out.
Uh-oh.
Where are you gonna go? Uh-oh.
Goes right on in, and there's a second Oracle on the way, Sean.
This is gonna hit. Ah! 1. How many is he gonna get? The fast reactions from Cass to pull out.
Yeah. Still takes 4, 5 maybe. Yeah. All right, so pull straight on back as well.
There's no engineering bay, there's no turrets. Grubby will just maximize kills off this. Go back. He's got no energy left. He'll go back and then just go in with another one here. There's 3 gateways! It's 4 gateways!
Okay, panic. Panic!
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. There is no Nexus, Grubby.
Okay, he's going to lose a few of these SCVs once again. And
2
then
more have gone down.
If he keeps the Oracles alive as well, they can be used in the direct engagement and kill off Marines so quickly. How many workers? Okay, 16 to 24. Oh, God, his economy is so hurt.
Yeah, he's not building anything. The 2 Oracles are alive. A 3rd one is being built.
Oh, God.
And Grubby has the pylon outside his opponent's base.
And he's not going to go out and spot that. Why would he? Well, I mean, he could send an SCV.
He needs to into the cybercore. It's not quite ready. Walk-it research, which kind of sucks.
Comes back in. Does he catch anything? Run away.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It all comes down to this.
Ready. He actually kind of boosts into the Stargate again for another Oracle. Oh, my God. It's going to be 4 Oracles.
Wait,
He's waiting with Wargate Research and waiting with his full gate. He's going to be 4 Oracles. He can challenge the Marines in the main base soon.
Yeah, the Marines actually just can't deal with this. And then if he cuts down half of the Marine count, how do you stop a gateway push at the front? Stalker pokes forwards, has a look at what's going on, and now Cass is like, wait a minute, why do you have a Stalker that far forwards? And he throws down 2 extra bunkers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is a good...
But still, even if the 4 gateways don't do anything, he can still expand, because if he kills off everything before turrets are in the main base with the Oracles that he has, the turret is about to complete, and if he... Cass, maybe.
He could do this.
With a turret in the main base, he's able to mine, and he's ready for this. I don't know how he knows. He only saw the Stalker.
How fast can 4 Oracles kill a turret? Can they kill it? I think they can, right?
Oh, I think it's not with SCVs preparing.
No, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But he's going to try and break this natural, but Grubby doesn't know there's 3 bunkers.
He actually tries to go up here, and there's all of a sudden,
now he's seen all the units.
Yeah, he sees everything. So now he knows all he has to do is hold. If he can hold, he should be fine. Those 4 Oracles, where are you going to go? They actually have to take the missile turret. They're going to try and bring it down, but one of the Oracles does fall.
With a repair.
I saw it as the only option, but it's gone.
He has to expand. He has to expand here. Grubby has to throw down a Nexus. But this puts Cass in not terrible shape, but not amazing shape either, considering he's lost so many SCVs. It's still an SCV to probe lead, sorry, for Grubby.
Cass was supply blocked quite harshly there for a while. There's the expansion now on the way. Unit counts 26 to 22 workers. He could still transition off this. He's just going to sit above the barracks as well to try and kill off Marines, but get shooed away.
Yeah, this is where Cass needs to get into gas. Get into gas, add some add-ons to these barracks, bro.
Yeah.
And maybe even start thinking about using that engineering bay for a +1 attack and just kind of... If he's not in terrible shape. If you look at it, it's actually kind of equal between them. But it's also note there's 26 Marines.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Marines.
It certainly is. And the thing is, though, is that Cass, unfortunately for him, I mean, yes, his economy is going to be better, but he's got all of these SCVs been unable to mine. Where are they going? Whew.
The big problem I see is with all these Marines that he has and can continue to make... Oh, he's actually going for the tech lab.
Oh, nice.
I was going to say,
Gonna
yeah.
get that.
Oh, because I was going to say if he was able to get stim and just move out, how can Grubby stop so many Marines?
He's actually going to go for this. He's actually going to try and bust up here with these, but that's just too much repair. That's too much firepower. I don't think he can break this.
There's 12 Marines and a lot more behind this.
There was Cass, so clever. He actually focused down those sentries at the back with the Marines in the bunkers, and he's going to try and expand to the gold.
Grubby's expanding. Oh my god.
Jeez.
Grubby's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Templar Archives is great. He needs some form of splash damage to deal with the Marines. But of course, going for High Templar and Storm isn't an instant victory. He needs to land the Storm to make it work because Cass has so many Marines. 34 now.
Yeah.
34 Marines. How can you stop 34 Marines with stim? He needs to get Storm in this game. He needs to hide a High Templar, and he needs to land the right Storm.
It really does. Grubby is staring down the barrel here. He needs to find a way out of this conundrum. Right now, it's, well, 29 workers to 36, and that expansion's up now. Grubby's transitioning on well behind this, despite looking in a bit of a dodgy spot. And there's Storm. Is he chrono boosting it furiously? Yes, he is. And this is really clever, actually, by Grubby. Throwing down Revelation on those bunkers means that Cass knows it's always being kept an eye on, so if he salvages...
Here we go. The movement out is here. Storm is still a long way away. He needs to whoop in some more High Templar, maybe. Chrono boost the crap out of that.
Yeah.
And the gold base may just get instantly killed here, and I don't think there's much Grubby can do.
Throws down the Revelation. Always knows where these Marines are going to move from now on. As how many units does he have? 2 High Templars are there, banking up a little bit of energy. Where are they, though? He doesn't have any medevacs with this, so he's not going to have high ground vision. If these Marines move into a bad location...
Yeah, he didn't actually click on the mineral patches on the gold, so he didn't even look. The Storm has to be crucial. It has to be crucial. Scan!
Oh!
He's going for the High Templar.
He almost catches it. He's going to catch it. Really? Oh, he catches it.
There's another one. There's another one.
There is another one. He's going to try and bring down this Nexus as quickly as he can do. One High Templar there. He doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. All of these Marines are being very low. He catches them. He catches them.
That's a lot of units, and Grubby still has the gold base, so his income's not even that bad, even though he lost the Nexus there.
Exactly.
And he's going to kill off every single Marine here, and that was, like I said, 30-odd Marines.
If he follows this up with the gateway timing now with Storm, all of this has led on to Cass having... Well, actually, no, look at this. He's got his starport up.
He doesn't... Oh, he scans the golds.
Oh, he sees it.
And is like, no.
What do I have to do?
No. And from this position, Grubby, I don't really think he can go for an attack against a 2-base Terran anyway. It's very hard up this ramp, even with Storm, I think, with the 3 bunkers, and maybe even more if it was spotted.
Yeah, wise to not
salvage those. But he's on gold
those.
base. He can just chill out. He can get some forges, man. Everybody loves forges.
Forges are pretty good.
You can go forges, man.
This is the Ghost Academy about to start for Cass.
Yeah, and Cass may try to go for an attack pretty... well, he's actually got 3 commands, so scrap that. But show us the forges, bro.
This game, I actually think, Sean, this game's going to just play out. Like, just play out long.
Yeah, but
Forges
quite
need to be
heavily
there.
in favor of Grubby. Because
Do you mean Cass?
No, Grubby. Grubby on 3 bases?
Oh, well, no, yeah, you're right. I just meant that the Forges weren't down, so I thought that, you know, maybe that upgrade...
kind of sucks, but he's going to have so many units. And Storm...
Oh, he spotted that.
Sure, he probably should have even gone for double Forge, I think, off 3 bases like this.
Yeah.
It's just that... Well, that...
Yeah, he's so well set up.
Yeah. It's real. I think that, I mean, Cass can definitely play this game out, but he's going to start falling behind in supply versus these 3 bases. This is a really good drop, though. This can actually start to equalize things.
Yeah, and also he can't really storm that because it's all spread out. So he has to clean up this with just gateway units. Those storms weren't really that efficient.
Yeah, he wants to get the Medivacs, ideally.
No.
Oh, it's a lot of storms, and he's actually losing a lot of the High Templar.
Look at, I mean, the spread's just working out brilliantly here for Cass. Brilliantly.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Nicely done.
Grubby lost a lot there.
Oh, he did. Workers, he's killed off 14.
He lost a lot there. He lost a lot.
Look at all the pylons down to the right though here for Grubby, as he's going to try and keep his opponent on 2 base for as long as possible. All right, how many workers do we have? 51 at 53. Income looking still all right for Grubby, but also likewise looking all right for Cass, who looks to take that gold base, and he's like, hey, that's where the Stargate is.
Yeah. And Grubby's warped in 1 zealot to just slow that down for, I mean, every second he can get slowing this down is great for him. He's got armor coming in now.
And also the ghosts are on the way.
Ghosts are on the way, though.
And this is...
And if we see the same ghost control that we saw earlier from Cass, who, you know, even though Grubby's upgrades are kind of weak compared, as we have 1-1 and now +2 on the way, a storm, like mentioning, can still change everything.
Yeah.
But if Cass has the same ghost control that we've seen today, then if he's able to stop the High Templar, this becomes a very different story too.
Grubby, are you going to go for this with armor? I don't... He's posturing for it. And he's actually going to go in here, catches a ghost off guard, drops an EMP, but really doesn't do a whole lot. And there's 4th High Templar behind this. Oh, good EMP. Good EMP once again to try and push this away, and he certainly will do. Oh, but 2 storms try and catch on either side. Not doing a huge amount.
Grubby's got to be careful. He's got no pylon close.
Yeah, and he's going to lose these High Templars. Okay, I think that was worth it to kill the High Templars.
Yeah, he killed off the ghost too, and they're kind of expensive.
Yeah,
it's kind of a trade-off there by both. Grubby's still with a better income for the time being. He's about to complete that armor upgrade. Second Forge coming in as he really needs to catch up with those upgrades.
And he lifts up a few of those units, only realizing that he's going to get hit once again, so drops them instantaneously.
Yeah, that's a lot of zealots now. With the ghost count that got reset,
he only has 1. He only has 1. If he actually doesn't deal with these zealots efficiently enough, he's going to be in a bad spot.
Needs to get these bunkers down here. He's trying so hard to stop the waves and waves. A good warping on the right-hand side, by the way, which probably will go to the natural to try and pull Cass back, and then he can go in again. But that's 3 bunkers and supply depots.
And this has been spotted. He's actually going to use these zealots on the right-hand side to try and do some damage, but he pulls back because that wall's too strong.
And that was a lot of zealots there. Oh, that's
a nice storm.
Ooh, Grubby taking a 4th base now.
Don't know about you, man, but my heart's racing. I imagine the players is as well.
Yeah, and Grubby's going for the 3 robos.
What?
Like, heart racing, mistakes being made. I think he doesn't realize he's got one. He's trying to go to Colossus, but imagine a robo bay having robotics facility instead of 2 robos at this point.
Yeah. And
this is a race for elimination here.
Ooh, lands an EMP, big EMP on that army, but that storm does hit a lot of that. And now Cass has to be very, very careful.
Yeah,
Grubby has another storm! Ooh.
The gold is exposed. The gold is exposed. He's got to go defend it. Warps in 5 zealots or so.
And he can actually pincer this in. He has to lift up and get out of there. There's no way he can stay. There's no way he can stay. He has to get out. Okay, he does.
All right, Robo Bay starts. So we're going to see the sickest 3 Colossus switch at the same time. The sickest of switches that nobody ever sees.
Are you ready, Sean?
Are you ready for 3 Colossus at a time? And Cass will not be ready.
No.
Grubby's on 4 bases. He's got good money. He's got good income. I think from this point, if he tries a big switch like that, if every time that Cass moves forward, he can maybe warp in from the back pylons to bring him back again to give him some more time.
Dude, you know how I was saying at the beginning, will Cass move? I am glad Cass moved during this series. Just saying. Just saying.
There's the sickest 3 Colossus switch.
Uh-oh, it's on the way.
But
it's coming.
He needs to keep surviving until they get in. He's got to, of course, afford a thermal lats with that too. It's a massive switch, 800 gas switch.
Exactly. It's so much money invested in that. It absolutely needs to work. It absolutely needs to be out. There's Vikings already on the way, though.
Yeah, but Cass has put a submission move on Grubby where he can't get to defend his gold. And if he does, there's Ghost waiting.
EMP lands. Oh, second one as well.
He's got to give it up.
The High Templar.
He's not ready. He needs his Colossus. Like I said, 800 gas has been thrown into this. He's starting to die, though. Cass is pushing forward.
No, the EMP hits another High Templar as well as the Archon.
The 3 Colossus may have to just jump right in without thermal lance. They need to be there.
It's go time, baby. They need to go.
But obviously, Grubby would like to keep them away as a secret, but Wow, here they
EMPs.
go.
They just land straight on this army. And
Surprise!
the 3 Colossus swing in from the back. Will they be able to do the damage? 3 EMPs land across them, but they push it away. Grubby survives for now, but for how long?
Yeah, he's lost quite a few probes there. Cass is, you know, got a 4th command center which can mine from. He's going to drop up the gold. Oh, nice there. That's a really nice use of the floating overcharge, picking off that first medevac in almost a second. But then we have Thermal Lance on the way. 2nd starport has been added on, of course, because Cass is panicking upon seeing 3 like that.
It's a scary spot to be in, and now we have the transition down to the 4th base here for Cass, who is establishing himself quite nicely, but he has 2 Vikings. How many Colossi are there out? 3, 4?
And he's got the Colossus on the gold. Perfect use of the climbing there of the Colossus.
The climbing.
The spider legs going up the hills.
Now Cass is actually, you know, his army is not looking too bad. It's 89 army supply, but
who would have thought? Oh, the mothership core.
Bye-bye, mothership.
Who would have thought after proxy Oracle into 4 gateway off 1 base that we could still be approaching the 40-minute mark again?
I did not expect this, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, a nice drop from Cass on the gold with low medivacs.
Okay, there. Oh, bye-bye medivacs.
Yeah, and
synchronized deaths there. It's a new sport in the Olympics. And, well, unfortunately now, Cass losing that.
And both players, with a bit of breath of fresh air, are both now calm on 4 bases.
The 3 Robo Colossus switch has not continued.
Yeah, but look at the upgrade difference. +3, +3 for Cass. Crucial, deadly upgrades. Grubby only has +1 attack and +2 armor.
Oh, and he has to be careful about where he takes this engagement. He really doesn't have that many zealots with this army, so he doesn't have much to buffer for his Colossus numbers.
Ooh, Grubby could potentially have a couple of flanking High Templar, maybe.
He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to lose any of these Colossi to these Vikings quickly.
Yeah, it's a fight for the middle now, because if Grubby wins this middle fight, he can start to chip away on the gold base. Likewise can his opponent, so 2 High Templar, couple of feedbacks.
He wasted actually 2 or 3 feedbacks on that Ghost there that really didn't have any energy, so a slight misclick there for Grubby, but in these high-octane situations, you know, anything goes.
God damn it, this game. Colossus raise into the gold base. That's a nice win there for Grubby, who's taking the Zelnog Tower for now, but the Vikings on the red side.
They're doing well.
Good,
nice.
Good storm.
We'll push them away.
This series has been absolutely fantastic from start to finish, and it continues on now. Double Colossus climbing up to 6 after these 2 pop. Grubby going to catch up with upgrades soon.
Probe's going to long distance mine and actually throw down a long
Grubby's only been on 8 gateways all game. 8 gateways. It's the 26-minute mark. Now adds on a couple more and takes a new base.
Well, one thing's for sure. After going for that aggression.
You know what's for sure?
What's that?
I've been needing to use the little boys' room since game 1, and it's been 3-minute games.
You're not allowed to leave as a caster.
3 40-minute games. I am struggling, but I'm hanging in there.
You're not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean.
Never mind.
You're in this for the long run.
Yeah.
And this is still a good place for Grubby to continue
Very
harassment.
good. So technically it now becomes like 4 base or 5 if you count the new one that's coming in versus 3 if you can't mine from the gold. So, and then if you think about the main bases run out and the natural not that far away either.
It's making it so hard for Grubby to do his standard zealot harassment at these bases because of that planetary fortress as well.
Yeah, he can't basically.
Yeah.
But what he could do, now he's starting to get a bit of more income, throw down the Dark Shrine.
Yes, exactly.
Can actually start to get towards that base, but he's added on more Stargates and also +1 attack here.
This is quicker than last game.
Yeah.
And
He wants to be able to go
out.
up to Tempest.
Yeah. Because how do you actually combat Tempest in this situation? The Vikings need to get right on top of them, but then they're still taking a lot of damage, and they will do for a long time.
Yeah. And even throwing an Oracle in there for a bit of revelation.
Bit of revelation.
Ooh, he's going to go for this planetary.
Whoa.
He may need to recall after this. This is a heavy commitment of units to try to bring this down.
Ambitious move. Will he be able to get it? He needs to get out instantaneously. He doesn't want to lose as much there, and he will get out.
Nice.
This is a great move there by Grubby.
Nice, nice, nice.
Ooh. And now, with that, you know, he's going to put down an orbital command there, but Zealot harassment, if that's just an orbital command there for a while, could be an option.
My dad likes Nice Biscuits.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know Nice Biscuits.
They
have written on them Nice.
Do they?
Maybe someone from the UK will know that.
I don't know Nice Biscuits.
Yeah, they're...
Were they new?
No, old.
Huh.
Very old.
Where have I been? Been in Finland.
6 Colossus, 5 High Templar versus 17 Vikings, 16 Ghosts. It's a nightmare of an army that Grubby's going up against.
Yeah, and he's having to buy a ton of time. He's got quite a bank, though. Look at that. So, nice feedbacks. For one High Templar, worth it, worth it. All right, and the Zealot harassment is going down over here once again, so that Planetary Fortress being disappeared, that's nice as well. Another snipe out, kills another High Templar.
Yeah, those 4 Zealots going to get to that mineral line. No longer
Start
planetary.
working. Yeah.
Tempest be coming into the game.
And as those Tempest numbers rise, then Cass is going to have a pretty hard time dealing with it, because what does he realistically do?
Yeah. He can't just keep sitting back anymore, because Grubby will start chipping away and start to enforce the engagement and enforce the out of position to come from Cass, as Cass would need to engage into the Protoss, where the Protoss would be more comfortably set up.
This, I can't believe we're getting now to that, past that 30-minute mark after these openers, but here we are. 3 Tempests are now about to grace us with their presence on the map as well. And this army for Grubby is becoming all the more rounded against a well-rounded army that we're already seeing from Cass. But once again, neither player wants to engage. Mothership Core, where are you going?
Bring out the battle cruisers!
But yeah, do it, Cass. Just do it. It'd be crazy. I suppose.
Oh, he's starting to move down here. 1 High Templar. Well, sorry, bro.
Nice storm.
Yeah, you got a couple of Marines there.
Yeah.
Better than his previous brothers. That just did nothing. I don't know what the hell that was.
Best storm ever. That was one of those ones that's like on the sea that no one feels.
EMPs. Ooh, he moves back.
Be careful, be careful. Catches a few. Oh, now he realized Tempests are there, though. What's he going to do? I think he has to fight.
Well, he's going to fight. That's a massive stim of his entire army.
These ghosts are slowly going to get brought down. 1 Viking already falls. He's going to lay waste to a few of these gateways as well as the pylon, but now moves back and actually takes this on fight here. The Colossus is doing a lot of damage.
The Vikings are going for the Tempests.
The Storms killed all the bio.
Crazy.
Oh, well, the Storms killed all the bio as well, and those Vikings really not doing anything to those Colossi. Grubby just took a massive, massive lead with Cass completely being left and right, not really having an option, having to go for the Tempests or be broken.
I don't know, though. I really think you need to get rid of the Colossus instantly. Yeah. You can't have Colossus, like 6 of them firing for, you know, a good 30 seconds in the fight while the Vikings try to deal with Tempest.
I want to watch that fight back.
Wow. Grubby takes a huge supply lead.
Oh my, and he's also got a base down to the south as well that he can send all his probes to. Army supply is now 92 to 54 in favor of him. That might just be it. That might just be it, Sean.
Wow. And Cass needs a long time to rebuild and a lot of money too. That was a big expensive army he just lost there. It's all gone. It's like one of your the things you tell me in the office sometimes about the Eve battles.
Oh, dude.
That was like that there. He just lost everything.
He lost a lot of money. A lot of money.
A lot of money in that army. All those ships died.
That was crazy. And for Cass, I really do feel he was caught between a rock and a hard place. What do? Do you start killing off? I have to agree. I think killing the Colossi is a good option there. Because the Tempests aren't dishing out that much damage. You can kill the Colossi, then retreat and move back and, you know, try and keep out of their range for a while. But then, how do you deal with the rest?
Well, Grubby has found himself in quite a leading position. And he's going to charge down the right-hand side. 3 Colossus remain, 3 Tempests in the sky, and a lot of High Templars underneath them. And this is where Cass has to stand. He needs the money to rebuild his army. But the problem is, he doesn't have that army yet.
And he loses the remainder of his Vikings. He has 2 left to go up against 4 Colossi, 3 Tempests. This army with a lot of Storms available to it as well. With 10 Ghosts, that's quite good for EMPs, but there's just too much poke here from Grubby. It's going to continue on. He needs an Oracle with this as well, but
an Observer will do for now.
Seemingly so, yeah.
Warp Prism, forward Warp Prism to get the engagement going.
And this is going to be the last stand here of Cass. If Grubby decides to take the fight, he's now maxed out. He's accruing a bank. He's pushing on forwards. He doesn't care about that base to the bottom right. He's looking for the engage.
Yeah, he may swing around to pick it off maybe, but overall Grubby is in a leading position where he can avoid being eliminated. A great use of the Warp Prism to almost put the nail in the coffin there.
Big damage been done by those Storms as Grubby now looks for the killing blow, looks for the throat, as Cass now has to take an engagement somehow, some way. He has to walk through even a time warp to go for it, but Grubby will pull back for just a second.
And another 3 Tempests coming in now. He's just going to start chipping away in this army. And this was a battle for elimination between these 2 players. Whoever lost this would have been out in last place, 4th place in today's group.
Have you ever seen that video where there is that like guy who's just hitting away with him at the spoon? This is a Thor's Ain killing.
Because this is
Tempests, They are the ultimate spoon unit. They will slowly keep hitting away at you. It's quite annoying. It's quite annoying. But then, ooh, good EMPs actually land on quite a bit of the army. He gets out of there, but he gets the base and just walks out.
Yeah, and look at Cass's money. It's just so low. And Grubby's 2 bases up on him.
And every stim now, he only has 2 medevacs as well. All of the army now actually goes for the engage once again, but Grubby just has the advantage.
Yeah, this is he's got too much of everything at the moment. There's Colossus, Tempest, Storms, everything.
The blink forwards catches a few of those ghosts. They can't micro on out of there. This bio army is slowly falling, and Grubby just marches on, continues.
Final stand, turns around and takes it, but he's not going to win it.
GG,
Good game,
well played.
And Grubby is the one that moves on to the decider match. And unfortunately, Cass is our last place finisher today.
Wow, but what a performance from Cass. Despite going out in last place, his games against Genius, meh, they were a bit silly, but in the end, watching these games, watching this series unfold against Grubby, Cass is certainly someone to look for in 2014.
Yeah, hopefully he can return back into Premier League. We'll now have to go to Challenger for next season and fight in that best-of-5 where he will have the chance to come back to Premier League. But it is Grubby who lives to fight on and will need to beat the guy that, remember, helped, well, assisted in eliminating him from the round of 32 in Season 3.
All right, we are guaranteed another Protoss in the round of 16, and right after the break, we're going to find out which one it is. Will it be Grubby or will it be Genius?